Good morning, everybody. It's Friday the 19th of April 2025. Good Friday. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing my morning run. I'm only going to film a portion of it here, and that's this section off Riata Road, for those local in Launceston and Traralgon, down to Durham Lake. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about the name of this video, which is going to be Running is Its Own Reward. And to explain that, I should say first of all that I'm about 2k's into this run, and this is the first run I've done for a week. And the reason for that is that I had an eye operation. I had to have a cataract removed from my right eye, and I had that replaced, of course. And so the doctor told me I couldn't run for a week. So today's the first time. The operation was Wednesday of last week, so today's the first time I've been able to run, and I'm really feeling the fact that I haven't run for 7 days. When I first started, everything was tight and it's hard work, and it's still hard work. So for me, being able to run was its own reward, but that's not the reason why I wanted to talk about that subject and why I've given this video that name. If you're a runner and you're on any social media, then I suspect you've come across posts from the Slow As word that rhymes with truck running group. I certainly have, and I came across one last week or so, probably while I wasn't running, from a woman who had run a half marathon. Now, I want to give her credit and recognition for that, because running a half marathon is not a case that we just run out the door and run 100 metres. It's hard work. 21.3 k's is hard work. And so anyone who runs one, no matter what the time it takes them to do it, is worthy of recognition and has achieved something in my book. Now, she ran this half marathon in something like 3 hours and 9 minutes and change, and she felt she'd done pretty well, and she had, because as I said, running a half marathon, and it was the first one she'd ever done. That's an effort in itself. And 3 hours is no shabby time. Of course, there are people who can run it much faster than that, but there are people who run it slower than that. Anyway, so she ran this half marathon in 3 hours and 9 minutes and change, and she felt pretty proud of herself, thought she'd done a good job and so on, and wanted to tell the rest of the world by posting to social media. But then she added that her husband was less than impressed. In fact, he was somewhat disparaging of her slow as 3 hours and 9 minutes, and he was talking to his mate whose wife had also run the course. The other bloke was telling the poster's husband about how well his wife had done, and she'd done about the same time, 3 hours and something. But the woman who'd made the post, her husband was disparaging of her efforts, and she was peeved about that. And I suspect things would be a bit frosty in that household for a day or two. And there's two issues that I thought about here. One is the issue of marital relations and whether you are, as a spouse, obliged to support your partner all the time, and massage their ego when they need it and so on. And I don't say that in a disparaging way, I just can't think of any better word for it at the moment. Most smart men who are in a relationship with a woman know the maxim that says, happy wife, happy life. So even if you don't care, you'd be pretty miserable if you didn't care. But even if you didn't care, if you could just stretch yourself to saying, yeah, well done, honey, great, I'm really proud of you, or something like that, that doesn't cost a lot. But I'm not really qualified to talk about that part of it. I don't know anything else about their relationship. So I just thought I'd talk about the running side of it. And I thought, I think about, well, why do people run? What's the motivation people have for running? And I guess there are lots of motivations, and none of them are more or less valid than any other. Some people run because they just like the physical thing of being out and running. Some people run because they know it's good for their physical health. Others run because they know it's good for their physical and mental health. Some people run for the competition because they love to be in races and pit themselves against other people that are in the same race and look at the results and see how they went overall and how they went according to their age group. They look at all their times and see if they did a negative split or something like that. And I admit to doing some of those things at parkrun, but they don't influence why I run. And I guess other people run because they want to collect the t-shirts and the medals and whatever. And as I said, there isn't one motivation that's better than another. It's just whatever it is that motivates you to get out of bed and run is a good thing. But I thought, if you are running and the thing that keeps you going every event, every time you do it, is the well wishers and the back slappers and the hand clappers and the people who applaud you, then I don't think that's going to be a thing that's going to sustain you long term. Imagine you're in an event and you're in the last 5 finishes. Pretty well everybody else has had their banana or their bit of fruit, collected their medal, had a cold drink, had a drink of water, and they're probably left. Any time that people don't do that is they're at parkrun, because they're the officials, they're the volunteers who have to stay until you finish. So if you're amongst the last there's probably nobody there to cheer you on. There's probably nobody that's going to give you a slap on the back and a well done mate, and congratulations or whatever. So waiting for somebody else to validate your efforts is probably in that situation not going to happen. Now that's not to say well wishers, people who say well done mate, somebody comes and taps you on the shoulder at the end and says thanks for the run, because even though you didn't know it, you were their pacer and you were struggling the entire time to stay in front of someone, but you did. And that person comes along and says thanks mate, good pacing. Or you go to the bloke in front of you and say thanks mate for good effort, good pacing, whatever. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is the things that motivate you to run, well, they're going to be different for everybody, and that's fine. They probably have to be a bit more substantial than saying, well, when I go past a drink station, everybody's going to clap and cheer for me. Or when I finish, there'll be people there and they'll all come and pat me on the back and shake my hand and whatever, because there'll be times when you won't, when you're not doing your first half marathon, 10k, whatever it is, and so they won't, or they've gone home, or whatever. So whilst all those nice warm feelings are welcome, I suspect that in the long run you probably need some other motivation to keep you going. And so in my case, I run because I like it. And so the reward is being able to do it in the first place. And that's what I mean by running is its own reward. For me, here in this, and I'm really struggling up this hill because it's quite steep, and I haven't run for a week. I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying the challenge of pitting myself against a course or a hill or a distance or a time or whatever, and seeing how I go. So what I'm suggesting is, if you're a runner, think about what motivates you to run. Hold on to that motivation, because it's the thing that'll get you out of bed, your things on, shoes, shorts, whatever, on and going. Set yourself some goals, be they, I'm going to run 5k or 10k, I'm going to run a particular route, I'm going to try and run a particular time, and if you achieve all those, either in the one go or over multiple runs, so, well, my goal is to run 5k, so I ran 5k. My goal is to run 10k, I did that. My goal is to run 10k, in my case, say, in under an hour. So, when you achieve those goals, you don't say, well, my motivation's gone. You keep going, because now the thing is to be consistent. Can you consistently run that 5k? Can you consistently run the 10k in under an hour, and so forth? And if you do that, then maybe say, well, let's say we're going to run the 10k in 55 minutes or something. All right, and that's all I want to say about running as its own reward. You do it, you're rewarded by the achievement of having done whatever you set out to do, no matter what the time was, and you have the right to feel good about yourself and your effort. And if you get reciprocal feelings from partners, friends, whatever, that's a bonus. So when you're out running today, or tomorrow at park run, or whenever your next run, think about the running is its own reward, and everything else is a bonus. Thank you. Have a good day. Enjoy your Easter, and I'll catch you in the next running video, whenever that will be.